Okay. Hi, everyone. So I'm just going to start off with a question. How many of you think that lying is bad? Okay, we'll see the answer by the end of this talk. So, what are lies? And what types of lies are there? Is lying a bad thing? And if so, when does lying become bad? Hello, I'm Shannon Dilbeck, and my topic is the truth behind lies. In this talk, I will be highlighting 4 main types of lies: white lies, self-oriented lies, lies of deception, and compulsive and pathological lies. White lies. What are they? White lies are the least harmful and, yes, most beneficial types of lies. They're the little things, such as, your shirt looks great today, and these are the best cookies I've ever had. Then, there are self-oriented lies. Lies about oneself, such as lies of fabrication or lies told to impress. Then, there are lies of deception, statements said purely to deceive when the liar is knowingly saying something that is false. And finally, compulsive and pathological lies. We need to acknowledge that these lies are part of a bigger picture and that they can be treated but should not be ridiculed. Also, the question needs to be addressed as a whole. Could society even function without everyday lies? So first off, why do compulsive and pathological liars lie? Well, there is the general for control or manipulation, for admiration or popularity, or simply due to a low self-esteem. But when we look into it more, we see that these types of lies are actually part of a variety of different disorders and are treated within these contexts. Some disorders associated with compulsive and pathological lying are as follows: borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, and factitious disorder. But what is the physiological reason that these lies are being told? In the results of a 2005 research study done by the British Journal of Psychiatry, it was found that the brain of someone who is a compulsive or pathological liar is actually different than that of someone who is not. They found a 26% increase in white matter and decrease in gray matter in the prefrontal cortex of their brains. 26% more compared to people who have psychological disorders but don't lie compulsively. For someone who is lying because of borderline personality disorder, a disorder seen as having escalated emotions and only seeing people in good or bad or black and white, a common treatment plan is called dialectical behavioral therapy. In this therapy, the patient goes to weekly sessions individually and in groups to work on social skills and ways of communication, effective ways of communication. And some common prescription drugs are antipsychotics, antidepressants, and mood stabilizers. Then another disorder associated with compulsive and pathological lying is antisocial personality disorder, which is actually a fairly hard disorder to treat, but some common treatment plans are psychotherapy and cognitive therapy, and some commonly prescribed drugs are antipsychotics and antidepressants. So these are the lies that there can be something done about and the lies that there should be. But what about the lies that can't be, and nothing can be done about it at all, or the lies that shouldn't be anyway? White lies are a key part in our everyday living. They strengthen bonds and are pro-social. Yes, maybe complimenting your friend's ugly shirt is a lie, but at least you mean well. And that's the difference. When you're lying to protect someone else, it is to protect their feelings or for the betterment of your relationship with that person. But when you don't, you're only lying to protect yourself. The difference between antisocial and pro-social behaviors are that antisocial ones are one told only for the betterment of one specific person. And they don't care about the effects of, let's say, lying, for example, because people who have antisocial behaviors don't have the empathy to think about what the effects of lying will be. Then there are pro-social behaviors being pretty much the exact opposite of that. And some pro-social behaviors are things like showing kindness, compassion, and understanding. Aalto University School of Science in Finland devised a mathematical model to see how different types of lies impact relationships. They found that antisocial lies deteriorate bonds over time, but how pro-social lies create stronger bonds in a network. Additionally, white lies can even signal growth. According to psychologist Paul Ekman from the University of California, those who study children and lying will say, it is an incredibly hard thing to do, and that it is a tribute to the intelligence and creativity of a child to conceive of an alternate version of reality. They need the empathy to think about what others are thinking and feeling to come up with a good lie and deliver it. So overall, one could say we owe our knowledge to deceit. When we get better at telling lies, we get better at detecting lies, which leads to a greater understanding of human beings as a whole. Furthermore, there's also been a proven link between self-deception and achievement. This is what some sports coaches call championship thinking. According to psychologist Shelley Taylor, positive illusion is the fuel that drives creativity, motivation, and high aspirations. White lies also have proven psychological benefits. For instance, depressed people tend to delude themselves far less than mentally healthy people. However, it was found that once depressive people recover from depression, they become less honest. So there is a point when honesty is not the best policy, but in fact a cruel and unusual thing. Additionally, society doesn't even really like truth tellers, viewing those who are brutally honest to be blunt, antisocial, and yes, even sometimes pathological. So what some view as a horrible, horrible thing, others might say is a harmless social way of making communication easier. According to Leonard Sachs, lying has long since been a part of our everyday life. We couldn't get through the day without being deceptive. Paul Ekman, once again, psychologist at the University of California, found that we don't in fact need to be hooked up to things like lie detectors to know when someone is lying, but rather we can see it in their facial expressions. In your face, you have roughly 50 facial muscles, which can combine to make about 3,000 different facial expressions. That's 3,000. So he created a muscular scoring system called the facial action cutting system, in which he numbered every single facial expression. For instance, the 1-2 is the most common facial expression in the world, and it is a simple eyebrow raise. Through his system, he could also see what different muscles were used to portray different emotions. For instance, if he wanted to know that someone is angry, he could look at their lips, while if he wanted to know that they were happy, he could look at their eyelids. All of the muscles in your face are enacted involuntarily by the brain when you are lying. This is something called leakage. Although there are many different types of leakage, facial leakage is the one mainly associated with lies. And these expressions, called microfacial expressions, are associated with this facial leakage. But what are microfacial expressions? Microfacial expressions are these extremely fast flashes of expressions portrayed on your face. So an example of a microfacial expression is when you are extremely happy and you're showing yourself as so. But inside, there's this teeny tiny bit of rage that no one else can see. And for a split second, like that, it is shown on your face. These are so quick that they're only about a 25th of a second long, and 95% of people tend to miss these microfacial expressions and emotions. However, once you are trained to see them, they practically jump out at you everywhere. And when you see that these expressions are everywhere, you can see that lies are everywhere too. But who lies the most, and who are people lying to? Liars aren't always those who one would expect, and they don't often fit into the stereotypes they are put into. In fact, unreserved, highly sociable people are actually more likely to lie than others. And some characteristics and traits, notably physical attractiveness and self-confidence, have also been attributed to a person's ability to lie in high-pressure circumstances. Also, those who score well on psychological scales of responsibility and those with meaningful same-gender friendships are less likely to lie than others. Now, circling back to the depressed, they are also less likely to lie than others because they seem to grasp and interpret reality with a better accuracy than those around them. And once again, once they recover from depression, they become less honest. In a study done in 1999 of college couples, they found that all couples lie to each other in about 85% of their interactions. And they also found that these college couples lie to each other about one third of their interactions they lied to each other about past relationships or recent indiscretions. However, this survey revealed that marriage did prove to be a stronghold and that spouses lie to each other in only about 10% of their major conversations. However, this 10% just refers to the minor lies of everyday living, and it doesn't refer to the deep betrayals of trust. So for all you married people out there, I don't know what that says. Psychologist DePalo says you save your really big lies for the person that you're closest to. Anybody who thinks that getting rid of every single lie should reconsider what might happen if we could tell when our friends, family, colleagues, and government officials were deceiving us, or if they stopped deceiving us in general. It is a wonderful idea to imagine that the world could become a better place once all of the lies that we tell are gone. But on the other hand, maybe our social lives would fall under the weight of never-ending honesty, and the overwhelming truths would destroy our ability to connect and communicate effectively with others. So in conclusion, the little white lies we tell here and there are necessities to a healthy community and to oneself. Some lies are clearly a problem, yes, but the most crucial of all are the little ones, and those are ones that we aren't and shouldn't get rid of. So I invite you to accept and welcome this idea. Some lies are clearly a problem, yes. But let's be honest, would we really want to get rid of all of our deceptions? Thank you.